let's, whoa, that was a little hot. Let's, okay. Testing. Fuck it, do it anyway. Oh yeah. Okay. Time to do some studies. Okay, Midna studies. We did. I pulled this up to get the aspect ratio of the image. Now we will save a new image. We are doing bad Zelda studies. You can't sleep. Sleep is canceled. Or you can fall asleep to me being boring. That would be that'd probably be the best of both worlds. How you doing? All right. Something familiar but different today. What's on my brain is I gotta get it out of my system. I've gone on about this before, but the episode of The Legend of Zelda cartoon where Zelda is kidnapped and they use magic to create an evil Zelda, basically. And it's called Doppelganger, that's just like a trope in Hollywood and TV shows especially. It's evil twin, and oh yeah. So we're just gonna do some fun studies of stuff like this. Oh yeah, there we go. You know, old boy smooching time is correct. This is the one where he actually gets some smooching in, and that's a nice hand, you know. And then there will be some fun challenges because it's like, this is a cool pose, except I'd have to attack cannon. I love this was the I don't know how old I was. Let's see here. This came out in '89, didn't it? Do they have info? We don't need no stinking transcripts. But anyway, it would have been '89. I remember my brother was being born. So he was a newborn baby. And I was obsessed with Zelda. So maybe it was '88. Maybe it was like '88. It could have been. Anyway, we need to, we're going to find, oh yeah. Anyway. Look at that. All right. So that's the mission. Perfect stuff. I also watched, Google this '89. Probably came out in '89. I remember being like consciously aware that my dad was working on an extremely cool cartoon that was about to come out, and like me not knowing anybody who played Zelda or like even watched anything other than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at the time. It was just exploding in my head. There was this cool other doc. Let's see here.
No, Kevin. Blake knows what he's doing.
This was
similar video on the brothers.
It's another video basically where they talk about the
Picnic. You'd be willing to give me a cue.
oh yeah, here.
Kiss me.
Thanks to Nicole Carpenter over at Polygon, we can get a more in-depth perspective from the
There's
show
been all these
at the
interesting
time of this 13-episode series.
reminiscences.
The Legend of Zelda didn't have much supervision or direction.
And I was just watching this. I was trying to do research for this stream because I knew I was going to do this.
To them so they could hash out how they wanted to tackle this series. But for context, these books contain a pretty decent amount of facts.
And this is
regarding
funny
character
because it's like,
personalities,
if you go
possible
back at
backstories,
this,
and more
like the,
regarding character
you know where they have the Sonic the Hedgehog Bible? I'm almost positive this would have been from my dad's archives. This is because he wrote on some of these things. He was sort of famous for writing Bibles for shows that like didn't know where to get started. And all of that is uncredited, but it happens to be true. Hey, Danny, what's going on? We're doing some Zelda studies.
A pretty decent amount of facts regarding character personalities, possible backstories, and
The
lore
best
about
part
the world
of
that
the
writers
Zelda
and
cartoon
directors
was the
never
music and the
wanted to market one of their
the video game
games
sound
outside of
effects.
Mario. And with Zelda 2 being brand new at the time, this served as a great marketing opportunity for them. Bob Forward,
Okay, here's my dad.
the writer for
There he is. So this is my dad. This is funny. Here's my dad, and this is a Beast Wars. Oh, cool! People are waiting in. I'm not as cool as my dad, but here we are looking at a cool. Someone else did the hard work and did the research or something into the Zelda cartoon, but. My dad is cool as hell. He is he looks like if Greg Kinnear was cast as Superman. That's my dad right there. And if you actually get the reference, Greg Kinnear was a fairly famous actor in the late 90s and early 2000s. But he's very tall. He's like a Bruce Wayne type of guy. You know, it's like extremely smart, you know, clever, super handsome, and can do anything, and you know, very Hollywood dad. Yeah.
the television series said, quote, "The Legend of Zelda was going to be a small addendum to the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, which was the
All right, well,
star of the
now here's my dad now.
Deviated
He still
someone
is
who
super
could handle
buff.
on their own without a lot of supervision. After we
Incredible
had
World
the
of Deke,
initial
yeah.
discussion, they supplied me with a VHS tape of a playthrough of the game itself. Since I wasn't exactly
And I remember
versed in
that
the playthrough
VHS tape.
not that I had any objection.
Practically
I just
wore
hadn't
out the
really
playheads on
They
it.
had a playthrough of the game that my sons were fascinated by. That
All
was my
right.
research.
Shout out to
So
me.
the crew
There we
cooking
go.
up this show
Okay,
weren't
cool.
exactly the most knowledgeable when it came to Zelda, and pretty much only had gameplay.
They made the Zelda TV show. Yeah.
So they decided to base the relationship between Link and Zelda on the 1985 detective show Moonlighting, starring
Moonlighting. I didn't know about this. This is something I learned today. That's what this is about. So the whole, I don't know, the stream's over. Avail's stream can be over. She can start again. It doesn't matter. It's okay. This is not a big deal. I'm gonna do some art. You get a cooler stream now. This might be cooler. New raiders who might be in the who might be watching. Let me do my thing. I do Zelda art streams, much like Avail, and she usually ends around now. Okay, very good. I've been doing this for about a year, and I've been, you see, much like my dad, who was a writer on the original Zelda cartoon, I have deep connections to Hollywood. Now, I work in commercial advertising, and I do a lot of video game trailers, and they've announced a Zelda movie coming out, and I have, since I figured that out, been interested in developing a, my dad and my aunt wrote several of the episodes for the Zelda cartoon thing. This is why I'm so obsessed. This is not I'm not a new fan. I'm like the OG fan. This is, the lore goes deep. And it's not just on Zelda either. Not just on Zelda. Okay, but I've been drawing fan art of Zelda, ostensibly fan art, but also trying to cultivate a Dr. Salad. It's been a while. A bit of a portfolio, if you will, of like I don't want to say edgy, but definitely certain types of a different aesthetic, something a little more akin to like old school Dungeons and Dragons and or 80s cinema. And so these are things I've been teaching myself how to sort of work in color and create interesting compositions with color. Like, and, you know, I do this stuff kind of as a living. Oh, this isn't Dungeons and Dragons studies. Let me change this. Let me turn that off. Make my face go away. The project here is manifold. Create interesting artwork, reinvent myself as an artist outside of the industry, because if you follow news at all, you know that the video game and the entertainment industries are well, they painted themselves into a corner. They delved too greedily after in the minds of entertainment. I blame it all on the crypto bros and the tech bros getting involved and basically making convincing Hollywood and production companies that they could sustain themselves with speculative funny money and NFTs and stuff like this. I'm not joking. Like, this is literally what destroyed Hollywood and all this stuff, all this speculative crap. And streaming and all this stuff that never made any money, and now when it had to, it couldn't. So with all that being the backstory, now artists like me who have like patiently sat behind the scenes and been happy enough to collect our paychecks in exchange for our servitude and silence, are now left to sort of decide what we're going to do with the rest of our careers now that we have realized that our masters were poor stewards of their own fate, and we need to figure out a backup plan. So the Titanic feels like it's sinking. My dad worked on The Secret of the Sword. Which one was that? I'm not sure which one is that. My dad's IMDb page is like, you got to scroll for a while, and then that's not even all of it. And then if you look at my mom's IMDb page, it's even longer. Animated show from the 80s. Wouldn't doubt it. Wouldn't doubt it at all. Okay, so all right, we have blank page here. The goal here on this stream is to do some studies of the animated. Here we go. The episode Doppelganger. Now this is Max lore, and this is the episode where Zelda is basically, I don't want to like watch the whole thing. This is let's say this is here. Let's get into it. Let's watch the intro music and all that stuff. And then I'll explain what's going on in this episode and why it's special to me. So, hell yeah.
This is the Triforce of Wisdom, Link. The evil wizard Ganon has the Triforce of Power.
The evil jar.
Whoever gets both Triforces will rule this land forever. You must help me, Link.
Hey, for you, Zelda,
Death Mountain's kind of stylized. I always thought those Triforce shimmering effects were pretty cool. Hell yeah, video game sound effects.
Nice job, hero.
Hey, excuse.
I think it's supposed to be Death Mountain. All right, there's a very interesting Hyrule Castle. Let's see who wrote this. Okay, so this is written by both my dad and my aunt. So this is interesting stuff. The show always reminded me of Captain Planet. Well, interesting. So the writer of the Captain Planet Bible was none other than my father. My dad was in a... Yeah, no, this is good lore. So my dad was in a contract that he was like, I got to get the fuck out of this contract. He basically was working under a producer that he despised. And the producer... The producer kind of enjoyed ribbing my dad. I think that's a diplomatic way of putting it. My dad's a sensitive guy with that stuff. He didn't appreciate that. So he wanted out of the contract. He's like, I don't need this job. It ain't worth the squeeze. But he was under the contract. Well, essentially the executive producer was like, all right. I'll let you out of this contract if you do this other thing for me. I need a favor. I need you to write a series Bible. I don't know what to do with this show. There's this project and it's environmental and it's big time. It's going to be big. No one knows what it's supposed to be about, but it's going to be called Captain Planet, and it needs to be about teenage superheroes saving the world from pollution. And he's like, fine. And he just like cranked it out like in one night. I probably was like, whatever. I don't want to say it was one night, but my dad can write like that. He can just be like, here it is. Here's the thing. And he came up with the your powers combined and stuff like that. So that basically my dad had a big hand. It's uncredited, I believe, but it is it's a real thing that he kicked Captain Planet out of the nest from development hell into something that I could actually you could hire writers with and be like, read this and then give me stories based on it. So that was that. All right, so I think I did that justice. It's not impossible my dad might ever actually watch these episodes or something like that. But anyway, we can leave that be. And so let's find an interesting shot of... Yeah, this one starts out with some action. So in this episode is titled Doppelganger. And doppelganger is like German for like evil twin or something like that. I'm not sure if it actually means evil, but that's the baked into the concept is like this is a twin, an unnaturally a twin against the other twin. And yeah, exactly. Okay, so we can scan ahead a little bit here. Lord Ganon, the evil jar. I remember learning what I was asking my dad. I was like, how can he just zap around like that? And my dad was like, he's teleporting. And I was like, teleporting? So where I learned that word. Okay. Scanning. I guess I can, you know what I can do? Okay, here we go. Ooh.
Wonder where it came from. Ordered it. No, it wasn't me.
There we go. All right. Well, not everybody knows that I'm working on a piece of the evil Zelda, but I need to do some research on what actually Zelda looks like. And in the cartoon, she has a different costume than any of the other video games, of course. So this is something that is going to be worth me paying attention to. So I'm going to do some screenshotting. I'll put this over here where people can see it. And all right, this is where I might do something boring like drawing, but I'm going to put on some music and, if there's questions in the chat or anything like that, it's all good. I'm aware that it's late and people might be sleepy or interested in checking out other stuff, and it's all good. But anybody who's listened so far, thanks for checking in, and stick around if you want to see me draw. Let's see here. All right, let's see here. What I like to do when I look at references, all right, when I look at references, I don't like to look at side by side with references. I like looking up and down. So I've got one reference of the same image up here on the monitor. Now, I think this is a fun challenge because I remember Zelda one way, but then you see her in the cartoon and it's sort of like, oh, that's a little sort of flat and unimpressive. It's not that it's flat and unimpressive. It just sort of lives more more dynamically and impressively in my own imagination. And that's actually what I want to draw. Not so much like I don't want to rote copy the image that we see. I want to, if anything, improve it. Or learn from it, at least. Doing a good study. Is that's a worthy art. Let's see here. Okay, so what do I have here? All right, that's a bad pen. I spent today drawing things I didn't want to draw for people who they're not bad people necessarily, but it's the company they work for is bad, and in the end they took all the work that I drew and they threw it away. And they said, we'll try again tomorrow. And I'm not sure how much more of this I can take, so if I can, I want to find a way to make the work that I do outside of work start working. Yeah. If I can just manage to be persistent about it, what will stop me is if I get fat and lazy again. That's what kept me so sedentary this whole time. Otherwise, I would have started this years ago. But someone brought up Captain Planet. I'm pretty sure that Captain Planet was also produced by Deke, which was a bizarre French company. In the 80s. Not bizarre, but like the way that cartoons and like the animation industries handled what was made where was like controlled by subsidies, which is like still something that affects and distorts the landscape of Hollywood, you know, what we think of as Hollywood, which is nowhere near Hollywood. My first all-nighter ever was watching a Captain Planet marathon. Oh my gosh, really? I mean, I really enjoyed Captain Planet. I didn't know my dad had anything to do with it until well after I was a fan of the show. He would insist that it was not a good show, which is hilarious because it's like, in some ways, I guess it was like he may have been a little bit conflicted in a sense about what was maybe there could have been misgivings or whatever. Maybe he felt like in an alternate history something else could have been different. Yeah, this is interesting. She definitely just has one line there. You think you were watching it ironically? Yeah. The writing and like the context for those shows, it's bad and good at the same time. There's a reason, I don't know, that it's satisfied, you know, it. And I won't say that like modern cartoons aren't good. I think modern cartoons are amazing. But for glorified toy commercials, essentially, is what these things were in the 80s. One thing I'm not great at is these like soft edges on the outside of lips. I always draw them a little too hard. Here, who can tell me what color Zelda's eyes are? What color is that? Is that green? Gray? You're fucking with me. No way. Not in my drawing. It looks like auburn. A little bit brown green. Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. Eyeball. Just something to warm up with. The doppelganger episode was so striking to me as a kid because the evil Zelda is totally willing to like smooch it up with Link, and it was definitely like a standout for me as far as like, whoa, that chick is hot, you know. Like, where can I see more of this? Getting way too far, way too quick with study here, but that's part of it too. Oh, I switched to color. I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, it was like Link knew early on into the episode that like something was wrong with Zelda because she was actually willing to give him a kiss. Because typically she's completely repulsed, or you know, interested in actually like saving Hyrule and defeating Ganon and stuff like that. Not a bad one to warm up with, but we'll move on to other poses in a second. I'm actually more particularly interested in her costume. That's interesting. I want to study this ear. Girl boss, yeah. Effective, simple ear. And this loser, you out. I swear, if Link is characterized like the cartoon show version of himself in the Hollywood movie, I will write. Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, I no longer think this is good, but I'll take it a little further anyway. What I hope, what I'm worried about actually is that there will be like a lot of like cheesy one-liners and like stuff that it's like I don't want any of that in my Zelda depictions. Miyamoto wouldn't let that happen. My preference would be a mute Link, and I've had this. I brought this up early on in my streams. Like early episodes where I think if anything they should find a way to justify like Link basically not being able to talk. Maybe it's like a magic curse or you know, some sort of injury or something more traumatic, but looks better already. It's not looking bad. Sometimes that's a fun exercise too, is being like forcing yourself to figure out why a drawing isn't working and what can help it. Something can look like a million miles off, and then you tweak a few things and you realize it was so close the whole time. Not that I'm saying that's the case for this, but that's kind of cool. Am I doing the one on the left or the right? Actually, I'm not entirely sure if I'm making too much of a distinction. What I'm mostly trying to do is like load the Zelda-ness into my brain. It's like, what is that essence? Sort of like an abstract thing. You know, but I do like... All I know is I like this look, but it's like, what is that look, right? Are the eyes big? Are they small? Is it somewhere in between? What do the... If I mess with one thing, does it throw it all off? Or does it improve? Can I... What can I change and make it like my style, but still recognizable as this, right? Like I want it to be authentic, but also like new. Right? Big eyes could look cool. Yeah, I don't mind them looking bigger than they are here. Like a... You know, I don't know if that is helpful. But... You know... Does it just need shading? You know... freckles, you know? What does that do? Like you add freckles to someone. Sort of distinctive, but can make them look young. Made the cheekbone a little sharp there, so tone that down. Anyway, cool stuff. I also want to this neck, you know, it's got this cool collar and like vest thing. Just feels very 80s, you know. I like how it's looking. Let's do another. Because I'm really just trying to like get the sketch. They're twins. One of them's an evil twin. Or at least we'll get there. Let's scan ahead in the episode a little bit. So let's see here. Oh yeah, okay, just a split second later.
I wonder where it came from.
Brushing hair. Magic bolt out of nowhere. Candlelight glows out. There she is. So this is the evil Zelda.
Get her out of here. Get her out of here.
8-year-old me was like, love at first sight. And so this is an interesting, it's another interesting sort of aspect of the task is having imperfect references is actually really good. So like here we have like this is a bad drawing of bad Zelda, right? But that's good for us because we get to sort of remake her. We know we can't use the if you faithfully copy a bad drawing, what you get is a bad drawing, right? So here we know we like the subject. How do we improve the depiction? Okay, so now I have this reference and I'll put it up here. Gonna make sure I'm saving as I go, because this is content. My hair has reached the stage where I can't pretend that it's not super long. It's just like flying out over my ears. Okay. Let's try and do a cool study. Now, we've got... It's a little too dark. Sometimes when I'm sketching, I like to use a lighter color, and then I just darken it later via a method I'll describe later. But you guys can see here that this is basically a gray sketch. It should be possible for me to go in there with like a... Oh, that's the wrong layer. If I just go in there with the burn tool, I can darken it. And no one would never know that I wasn't using like a darker tool since the beginning. You know, and like there, it's like practically like a little painting or whatever. Okay. So I don't sweat using like a light color from my sketching. You do it right, you never have to ink anything. This looks like one of those poses where the artist here didn't know whether or not they wanted to have her like tilted down or looking up. And it sort of has this like weird straddling effect where it's sort of like drawn looking up and down at the same time. It's essentially, most of the time when like a drawing is sort of failing, at least for me, like if I run into, be like, why isn't this pose working? Or why isn't this angle of the head working? It's because I'm simultaneously trying to draw it two ways. And you can't really do that. The pose doesn't have expression. It looks like it's trying to express something, but to me, it looks like it's trying to express To me, it looks a little bit like they're trying to tilt the head down, but then they didn't do anything else to reinforce that. I'm going to see if I can do what I think they were trying to do, which was tilt the head down. But it requires a little bit of challenge. So let's see here. Head tilted down. And we're going to give it a little bit of an angle. So it's not like it here. It looks like it's like sort of a little bit, almost like it's supposed to be like cocked, like a cocked head. So let's try this. So we're tilting here. We're tilting here. Just being deliberate about it. If we can pull it off. Nothing easy about it. It's easier to like make a decision than actually make a good drawing trying to straddle it and have it both ways. At least I think. I don't think her expression is actually all that bad. I think it can be a little cocky and subdued. Alright, I think I can try. I'm game to try. The outfit is cute. Yeah, like this is the for me. This was the. That's half the appeal. So, I did a. I'll just bring it up. I did a sketch, and I put it in my Discord. Here it is. Also, everybody, Danny has been streaming and is deserving of follows and support. So, just a little plug there. Working on a cool project. All right, let's see here. Here we go. Download. Pull this up. Okay. So I did a sketch the other day on my iPad of a kind of little bit of a risque Zelda pose, but meant for it to be like the bad Zelda. I got about this far and realized I didn't know what her outfit actually looked like, and then my Apple Pencil died anyway. But anyway, this is the idea. Yeah, it's a good pose, and like knowing what an evil bitch, and it's interesting. Like the pose here. Sort of similar, not really actually that similar, but you know, it's not too dissimilar from what we're sketching here. Anyway, the idea is that like right now we're doing research for what would be that as the finished idea. But see how here they didn't know how to tilt down the crown. Or maybe they thought they could get away with just having the crown tilting up, but I think it's like you can't have it crown pointing up if the head is tilting down, right? I don't like to draw too zoomed in, but I know it's not the it's not best for everybody to have a bird's eye view of my sketching. They don't see it as high fidelity as I do with my own eyes right in front of my own drawings. No, I'm gonna finish it. I just need this for research. Also, I need content to post, and like this is doing studies is sort of like an easy way of. I don't want to say it's like easy. It's not like there's no effort involved, but it's definitely I can get right to having something like a page of drawings that look interesting, even if it's mostly just studies of other people's work. You know, if I do studies like this, where it's like I see a drawing, but then I try to get my own take on it or improve upon it a little bit, then it doesn't feel too much like I'm ripping other people off. So this feels closer to what I think the original artist like might have intended to draw. But it's like I get it. Like you're like a poor outsourced artist in a country that most Americans probably can't point out on a map, and why put yourself in a bind trying to make a perfect drawing for something no one's going to care about? They didn't know that 40 years later I'd be there to 35 years later or whatever, I'd be there to give them shit about it. That would be funny if there was like somehow the original artist that drew this was like, what the fuck? Only because it was mentioned, I will put my little link to the Discord in the stream. No one has to go and click on it. It's not a big deal. But sometimes people share their art. Cool links and all the hot Max lore is percolating to the surface there. Not really, actually, but that's where I go, and I apologize for having no time to stream or stuff like that. It's been a busy little stretch of time, actually. Having just no sooner having turned in my taxes, I had to jump on a fairly big gig, trying to monopolize on my time. But okay, so this is the serious thing, is like when you think about like what are the shortcuts to making it clear what you're trying to do. It's like you need to always make sure that the if you're trying to convey the head is tilted down, then you need to see a good amount of the top of the head, right? So here we don't, but here we can do better. So let's try that. You definitely need to make sure that the ears are sort of like, you see how, like, if I draw a line, there's the bottom of the nose. They're like well over the bottom of the nose, right? Whereas here, it's level. So here's the eyebrows. The tops of the ears are well above the tops of the eyebrows. Here, they're all level. So it can't all be level. If you're gonna have like the angle on it. All right, let's get the rest of the point. You sent Discord link. Yeah, I put it in the chat. It's just an invite. See, I'm trying not to Hey, Uchi. This time, I'm trying to stick around for a little bit, so. Good watch. Watch away. Fall asleep to the soothing sounds. Streaming a bit earlier. Bit earlier than like, I mean, best practices for me is I'm streaming before my workday even starts, right? All right, here, instead of just doing a head study, let's also think about the body. The body, yada, yada. Okay, so if her head is tilting this way, if her head is tilting this way, right? Let's have the body tilting this way. Something interesting, right? She has a really thin neck. I mean, that makes sense. She's like an elf princess, but... yeah, not just tilting this way, but also tilting back in that way. Let me make sure my, this doesn't sound like Zelda music anymore, so yeah, we're listening to something strange. Let's see here. But you guys see, I'm doing studies, but I'm not just doing rote copying. I'm applying what I know that can work with poses to improve these things. It's like here I'm trying to... It's like I really want to make sure that for the sake of the pose, like this shoulder kept creeping up. as I was drawing it because I'm looking too much at this reference. But I don't need the reference for the pose. I need the reference for the costume, not for the pose. I know how to pose characters. Looking too much at the reference is only going to mess me up. In the end, you got to make it your own anyway. Force myself, really push down that shoulder. This shoulder has to be lower than this one. Has to be. All right, there we go. Why does this shoulder have to be lower than this one? Because this hip has to be higher than this one. The reason that this hip has to be higher than this one is because her hand is on this hip, which means it's supporting the weight of her body. Because that's the only way this works. Like when you put your hand on your hip, it's because that leg is supporting the weight. This leg has a bend in it. It's got slack. This leg is supporting the weight. And here again, like if we look at the original art, we can see again that the artist had the arm there, but none of the weight distribution. You know, it just makes it's like too complicated of a drawing, right? They're like, I'm in it for the income, not the outcome. What little income there was not worth the effort to summon all of their artistic superpowers in that moment. Such an 80s outfit. This arm going back in space and then coming forward in space. And you can see I'm changing it where it's like previously her sort of the back of her hand was resting on this thing, and that's sort of a cheat on their end to sort of make it not look awkward. Pose looks a lot prettier. I think it's got more attitude. Probably more of what was originally intended. She's an evil character, you know. Give her some expression. I'm not sure I need to chase down every darn... In this case, I can't see the rest of her body, and so I don't really feel like chasing down all the rest of her pose. I'll move on to some of the other... trying to get enough to like fill a page or two. If I have some extra for options, all the better. But I'm going to constrain myself to 1 more hour, so we'll see what I can produce in that duration. Can't forget these earrings. something like that feels much more interesting. Now I know she has some cool sexy pants too. I'd like to see if I can get those drawn in a different pose. But we'll get there. Cheat something over here. When in doubt, throw some fucking rim lighting on it. Would I do commissions in the future? I do commissions every day for evil companies, so yes. I more or less guaranteed. Yeah, I would. I need to scratch my Zelda itch a little bit more before I truly make that a priority. But yeah, it's sort of already in the works with some things. I've had a few inquiries that I'm taking semi-seriously, but the overall, that'll be like phase 2. I'm still sort of in like phase 1, 1.5. And see here, it's basically I didn't do a good job of like making space for what her other arm would be doing. And you know what? Let's just... It's like a bit of a teaching moment. Like what... Instead of saying fuck it to the other arm, let's try and do something with it. Now, here's an interesting thing. So if I try to erase into this arm, it's going to have this weird edge that's soft and it's kind of sucky. So I'm going to paint out that space so that it looks a little more natural. And then figure out a way to get a good solve with what brush is that? This is a brush that's it's heavily customized, and I believe that it's native only to Corel Painter, which I'm sure is a bit of a frustration for anybody who is really curious about the brush. But the truth is, I've been looking for a replacement for this brush in other programs, and I haven't found one, and I don't know what to do about that. That's why I'm using 4-year-old software that they don't make updates for anymore. Okay, so it's fun. It's I don't really share the brush. I can't anyway because people don't have Painter, and even so, I'm not really interested in gleefully disseminating something as distinctive to me. Because it's a brush I made, but it's versatile, and it suited me well for many years. And it used to be I didn't have a lot of confidence with it as like a brush that anybody would take seriously. But actually, the in a world where everybody's brushes basically look the same, I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of happy that I have something a little bit for your cartoon style. Yeah, it doesn't really work well with cartoons, but it's great for rendering like storyboards and stuff. Okay, what if... So you can see how this arm is going back in space and then coming towards us in space. Let's do the opposite here. Let's make it so that this arm is coming towards us in space and going back in space. And look at the attitude, you know? It's many the long list of distinguished people have enjoyed my drawings. Let's see here. I think this arm needs to be... This part is good. This part just needs to go a little lower. Like Dragon Ball. What do you mean? Like, oh, have your dad ever worked on an anime? No. No, but my dad is a big fan of anime. He really is. He was like an old fan of anime. That might have been too far. I can like split the difference a little bit. It wasn't bad, but I don't know, just want to make sure. This is that's the secret to a sexy drawing, is you got to get that little triangle of light right there. Well, it's not bad given that I can't see you know, no one can accuse me of tracing, you know. Go. There we go. Does Max know how to... I'll try to do it on stream and I'll send you it. Send me that same screenshot. Oh, cool. The one that I'm drawing right now? You mean this thing? See what you can do with your knowledge? That's admirable. Like, you know, it takes... To go from this to this and, like, know what to do is... you know, that's I applaud I applaud the ambition. Here, I'm gonna pop this in. When I talk about like doing like figure drawing in person, how that is important for testing one's brain is because the figure drawing in person, it's this weird setup where it's like, oh, you couldn't possibly have a better reference than the model right there in person. But the reality is, it's like you can hardly have a worse reference in some ways, because it's like the model is moving around. You're seeing it in 3D, which means you've got like stereoscopic. You're translating a 3D experience into like a 2D image. Like there's perspective distortions and stuff. At least if you're doing like one photograph to another, one flat image to another flat image, you can basically sight size it without any issues. It's just really interesting. There's counterintuitive advantages and disadvantages when working from references. Okay, I'll post this in the Discord. I'll put it. Let's put it here. Share your art. Doot. Here we go. Give it a shot. Dr. Salad, does Max know how to draw curly hairstyles? I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I have to draw all kinds of curly hairstyles occasionally. I usually use a shorthand. Curly hair is a lot of information. Normally, like in a professional storyboard, I would truncate that work into something that reads as texture instead of defined curls. But where it's important, you know, I wouldn't be afraid to give it a shot. Is money involved? Yeah. Why didn't animators back then draw sharp faces? Is it because of time constraint? When you say sharp faces, do you mean like stylized? Uchi, what do you mean? Like sharp faces like Batman Beyond or the Teen Titans? Those have like sharp, like my drawing. It was time constraint. Yeah. Also, they needed to be almost more important than. This is sort of interesting. Is like you can actually on some shows back in the day you can. Essentially, animators back then, it was less important that you had skill and more that you were basically as good as all the other animators in the studio, so that you could easily be replaced and your drawings didn't stand apart from anybody else's, so that if you only got halfway done with your scene, another artist could pick it up without there being a big jump in quality going negative or quality going... Like if you were if you did something amazing, but then the next scene that involved the character was drawn by someone else and they sucked at it, like that's noticeable. And then the client comes back with a note like, hey, this sucks, you know, how come it goes from good to bad? So you weren't necessarily incentivized to do anything other than stay on model. And on model just means basically if they gave you a reference sheet, you didn't deviate from that. And in fact, there was a different YouTuber I was watching today, and she was talking about how when she was an animator on King of the Hill, they essentially had to trace. It was like part of their job was to not deviate from the characters in any meaningful way. And that basically involved staying so perfectly on model that the only sensible thing to do was to trace. Because if they did anything expressive, they would just have to do their work over. And that's no fun. Okay, we've done a good study there. Let's move on to the next thing. Let's make sure we save our work. If anybody's drawing out there, please save your work. Save as you go is what I would say. All right, let's find another. This is me. This is Look, I've almost got the hair too. Yeah. Zelda. Radical.
About time.
Ah, look at this. This is like the same pose I just drew. You know, but there's no attitude on it. You know what I see? Pantless Max. It is pantless me.
Get back through the mirror while I get the Triforce.
Well, I get the Triforce. I love the voice actress. She's got this sort of like breathless quality. Link. Get the Triforce. Pew, 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 pew.
Are you alright, Zelda?
Uh-oh.
7 years
One-way ticket.
Moblin. Starting now.
I'll need to find another way to get the Triforce back again. And I know just the way.
I saw some poses there that I could do, but I kind of want to move forward through it a little bit more. Yay.
Because you're here.
Let's get in there.
Well, hey, that's what heroes are for.
There we go. Wonder if any of that will work.
Ooh-wee. Kinda colder than I expected. Say, that's a new look for you, isn't it?
I just got it. Do you like it?
There we go. Let's do it real quick. That's a pose, yeah. But, you know, we'll try to draw it better. You know, because this isn't perfect. There's lots to improve. What do I think of the backgrounds? I really like the designs of the later on in these episodes, or you know, not right now. They're in Hyrule Castle, and I didn't love the way that I didn't think much of it when I was a kid, and now that I'm an adult, I look at how they designed the castle, and it's very fairy tale-ish, and that's not to denigrate it, but what I really like is the way they depict the underworld and the like Ganon's lair and stuff like that. There's this great sense of scale and sort of underground architecture that it's really, really cool. Okay, so here, this pose is fun and looks good. Let's see if we can make short work of it. Here they've actually gone ahead and we even have like a clear line of action here, you know. This is good. The head is very clearly tilted up and away from camera. I'd probably crank that. Yeah. It feels like they were fighting it again, like trying to not get too angled with some of this stuff, but it's like to have a convincing head tilt, you have to move the parts of the face around. So sometimes when I draw eyes, like at an angle, I'll draw essentially what is like the orbital the eye socket, the orbital. You know, you could imagine the eye being in here. If this is the eyebrow, you know, then the eye is somewhere in here. And I always try to put the eyeball itself somewhere here, which is like the middle of the head. It's common for artists to sort out their own proportions, be like, oh, I like it a little bit differently, but this is consistent for me, and it's pretty consistent for me in all my sketching, is figure out where the middle of the head is. It's like the equator, right? And then try to have the eye somewhere there. The eyebrow is above it. Side of the top lip. Chin somewhere like that. Cheek. Right? You seeing it coming together. Let's not get too far. I like how here they've got it's like very clear. One shoulder is very clearly higher than the other. So it's just nice that, like, okay, someone was making decisions as they were drawing. Like, we can clearly make one thing, making a decision about how something is depicted, even if it's off model. So far, so good. I'm trying to not do what I did on a lot of the other poses where it's like I got obsessive about like what was happening on her face and then spend too much time on that, and the rest of the body is like an afterthought. This almost looks like it's a little out of proportion. The one that I drew is a little out of proportion. Where have I gone wrong? And the reference isn't perfect either, but... Am I muted? I shouldn't be. you hear me? My mic is working on my end. Hello. Let's check me out. Go to my channel. Go to my channel. Yeah, no, I'm playing okay. Yeah, no, I'm playing okay. Yeah, no, I'm playing okay. Echo. 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 All right. Danny, it's on your end. Whatever's it's on your end. Okay, enough of that. There we go. That's better. You got it to work? The audio on my end was fine. As far as I could tell. Love drawing me some hair. That's a new look for you, isn't it? You like it? Do I ever? Good. Because I'm going to need you to come with me. We're going to destroy Ganon once and for all. I mean, on any given night, the amount of technical issues I'm apt to have on my end are endless, so I wouldn't take offense if there's something to be fixed. I want to know about it, but I like the way they draw. I'm glad I'm doing these studies. I'm learning a little bit better about how they drew these pointed elf ears, and I like what I'm learning. It's simpler than what I was doing before, and it looks good. Little details. And I know it's getting late, and I don't want anybody to stay up past their bedtime paying attention. But if hearing me drone on helps anybody wind down and get to bed, then that's good too. I'm going to switch up the music to something a little more chill. This is great music, but we can do something a little more sleepy time. A little bit more classic. Where it all started, Zelda and chill. There we go. That's a good study. And this, like the others, if I wanted to, I can hit it with the dodge and burn. Get a little more substantial. Or just mess with layer blend modes. That makes it look awesome. What about overlay? You know, some combination of all the above. All of a sudden, people are like, whoa, how'd you draw that? C'est incroyable. C'est magnifique, style américain. Huh. Nothing like an 80s cartoon princess. All right. On to the next one. Yeah, not bad for now. Not bad for now. You know what else I like to do is I do my little hack. I'll get in there where there's certain types of overlaps and then just accentuate them. Very much an illustration hack, and it can help a drawing pop. Starts to come out. Like a relief sculpture. Kind of like the way the portrait of a person on a coin is a sculpture. Do you ever think about how that is? The coin, the little pieces of metal, pockets, they're little sculptures. They're so clear. Also so incredibly thin. How does something so thin read so incredibly clear? Interesting. Nice study. Moving on. What else? Let's look. Let's look. Find something.
You know it, princess.
Smoochies.
Good. Because you, me, and the Triforce are going to
Woohoo.
go, attack Ganon right now.
I gotta do the wink.
Attack Ganon right now. Go, attack Ganon right now.
Well, I also like the long pan up. Maybe we'll pull a few references. Nice hand. Good.
Because you, me, and the Triforce are going to go, attack Ganon right now.
Let's make sure there isn't anything else more pressing around the corner I could be sketching.
This thing is heavy. Why don't you make it float like you usually do?
Because I don't want to, that's why. Now shut up.
Excuse me,
shut up.
princess.
No worries, Uchi. Dun, 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 dun.
She doesn't have a reflection. I knew that smooch was too good to be true. That's not Zelda.
Ooh, too good to be true. Ooh, I like that.
Smooch was too good to be true.
I don't want to, that's why. Now shut
Trying to get that right. Oh, that was it. Ah, that's pretty good.
why. Now shut
Oop.
up.
This thing is heavy. Why don't you make it
Okay. So I'll reference this one. Gotta start a new layer. That one is cool. I'm referencing the frame I'm using is slightly different, but it's so hard to pause on the exact frame. I think there's a way to like go frame by frame in YouTube, but I don't remember what it is. Anyway, I have the reference. It's just hard to sync it up in the video. I mean, I could do these all day long. It's not cool or not. I'm enjoying this immensely. A little bit more. Zelda used to have floofy hair. Yeah, she's floofy here. Hey, Damina. How are you doing? There is an episode where she has it kind of in a tight braid against her head, so it's not floofy in that episode. And it looks really good too, and it's sort of reminiscent of the some of the more modern Zelda takes. I think it's easy to discount the TV show for some sort of 80s novelty, relic of the past, but a lot of creative and interesting ideas in this show. One thing I definitely remember about my family growing up was my dad was very interested in the Renaissance festivals. It's probably just just like one of those overgrown nerds getting laid at a Renaissance festival. I don't know. But my parents had their creative interests, that's for sure. As a youngster, it was fun enough just to go around and see everybody acting silly in costumes. Then you get a little older and you realize, oh, everybody's drunk here. And you're like, the women here are in bodices and corsets and things like that. I'm like that dude has his underwear on the outside, is like wearing a codpiece, you know. History is cool. It's a little tricky for me to see exactly what are the shapes and dynamics of the saddle versus her leg. So I'll just fudge it. Go a little further. I might go further than midnight. I don't know. We'll see. I'd like to get like a couple more sketches onto this page. I do want to get that wink in here. But maybe I move a little faster on the rest of them. This one definitely doesn't need to have so much. Because people like People like unfinished sketches just as much as they like the finished ones. This is what I've learned. And this is further would be nice. All right, if you're still awake, no worries. See, this is important, like, research for me to see. By doing like rough sketches like this and then posting it and then seeing people's response, I can gauge a little bit, like hey, are people very interested in this type of subject? Are they kind of interested? You know, are they not really very interested? You know, because it's like the video game Zelda fans, and perhaps maybe young Zelda fans, are not necessarily the same audience as the as people my age, or other people who might remember and enjoy, and or at least know of the Zelda TV show and think of it fondly. And it's like, I don't mind spending an evening with myself and friends on Twitch and chat and enjoying doing some Zelda studies. But if I'm gonna render out a real piece in the cartoon, using the cartoon Zelda design as the subject, you know, with an evil twist, as I've expounded upon, it'd be nice to know that it was gonna appeal to more than an audience of one, right? So if I do some sketches and I post them and people are like, cool, Zelda, I remember this look, it's so hot. Are you gonna do more sketches? You know, or whatever, like that. Like, I'm like, okay, there's the fish are biting. This type of subject, you know, I can move forward. But if it gets like 3 likes, I'd be like, you know, maybe I'll put it on the back burner as a project. Move to the other pieces that I know will, that may or may not be well received, but I have goals for them anyway. Yeah. It's understandable. It's like, what has been interesting for me to sort of have my, it's my new thing with being willing to be like, you know what, I'm gonna put something on social media, and if it sucks, then it sucks, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't. But it's been interesting for me to realize that I can't necessarily predict whether or not something is gonna pop off. I've posted things that I was like, all right, people are gonna go nuts for this, and it's like crickets. And then I've posted things where it's like, okay, no one's gonna give a shit about this, and then people are like, this is amazing. They really liked Midna, but like they loved just those stupid, not stupid, but like, you know, I kind of did this where I did those sketches. I mean, they damn near liked the sketch I did of the night walk as much as I did like the final, you know. it's sort of interesting where it's like, okay, it's like, it's definitely worth it to see if people respond to the sketch, because if they do, that's a good indicator of whether or not they'll have the same appetite for a finished piece. And typically they do, but it's like, it's not like orders of magnitude more. It's just like, okay, like the sketch I did for Night Walk got like 300 likes on Instagram, and then the finished piece got like 350, you know? So it's like, and then one I did in a day, and then the other one took like a month and a half. So it's sort of like, but it's I learn a lot from the coloring, and it's really nice to have like a finished piece. I'd be like, yeah, I'm cool. But sort of underscores what I was saying about like, hard to predict exactly what people are gonna really respond to. Oh, the same thing with that like battle sketch of Riju I did, where I was like, I remember when I drew that, I was like, I think this is cool. And I was like, no, it's like super cringe. I remember being like, it's sort of embarrassing. It wasn't embarrassing. Like, I was like, wow, I pulled it off. I did a cool sketch, but I was like, is this cool? Cause I just am enthralled by my own ego and execution of a challenging, pose and situation. It's like, I don't even know who Riju is. Why should other people care? I'd be like, you know what, just post it and see what happens, I posted it and people were like, this is awesome. I'm like, oh, cool. Like, I should figure out who Riju is. One thing's for sure is the action battle stuff, pretty well received mostly. The stuff with warrior chicks and elven princesses and stuff typically does well. Or like goth babes, There we go. It's like, it doesn't need to be more than this. It's like I could add more to the horse or whatever, but everything is here, People can see it, whether or not, they'll either like it or they won't, but they don't need any more information than this to know if they're going to like it. Okay, let me see if I'll move this here. I think I can, if I can find a way to squeeze the wink right there in the middle. That might work. I'll make sure there isn't anything else more important. Shut up!
Princess.
Let's skip ahead. Oh, we have to appreciate this music. Hold on.
This thing is heavy. Why don't you make it float like you usually
The cartoon had really great, like, symphonic soundtrack.
That's why. Now shut up.
Excuse me, princess. She doesn't have a reflection. I knew that smooch was too good to be true. That's not Zelda.
The horse Winnie. Oh, pretty good right there.
You're not really Zelda, eh? That means she's been captured. And this is all a trick.
The underworld entrance is just ahead. Follow me.
Sure, I'll follow you. Right to Zelda.
That's
Actually, this could be fun.
funny. All right. Oh, wow, that's good.
You just wait till Link gets here.
Oh, she's all tied up.
No! Link!
The evil jar. I think, oh yeah, look at these cool backgrounds. Look at this cool stuff, like the colors.
It's really heavy. Princess.
Look how cool this looks. Ooh, smooching time. Oh, this is where everybody zooms in. Look, you can see that's the big...
Better now.
Oh, yes. Much better.
Good. Come on.
That's funny. This must be another smooch time. Oh my gosh, it is. Look at this.
Link, you were wonderful. Link!
Zelda!
Oh boy, here we go.
Uh-huh.
Time to deliver this to Ganon.
Look, princess.
This is the other part.
Well, excuse...
Don't you ever do that again without telling me.
They colored her wrong there. I remember reading about that.
Excuse me, princess.
Yeah, look at that cool, these cool designs.
Fast, you imposter!
Shit, ooh. Plunging into lava. Look how cool that is. Wow.
Zelda? Oh, no.
Oh, this makes sense. Okay, yeah, they're both covered in mud or something like that, right?
Afraid there's only one way to tell you two apart. A kissing contest.
Why, sure.
Ooh-wee. Very good. Next. Ow.
I had to do it. Okay.
That's my Zelda, all right.
That's my Zelda. All right, let's go back here where we have the wink.
Time to.
That's
It's got to be here.
Go,
Here we go.
attack Ganon. Right now.
I don't know. That's cute. I want to do this. This might have been the best episode. For me, it was the. For me, it was. Yeah, for me, it definitely was. Not gonna do better than this. Yeah, someone gave a shit this day. Did a good drawing. You can do a better kiss. I'm reticent to draw the Link in this. I think this is the Link in this series is good. I wouldn't mind drawing him, but I want it to be about Zelda for this stuff. So, you know, if someone is like, you know, because I'll post these around, and if someone's like, will you do the NSFW? In this case, I'd be like, yeah, maybe, you know. But I actually had a chat with my wife about that, where I was like, you know, some people make a lot of money drawing NSFW stuff. She's like, yeah, go ahead. If the money's good. I'm like, all right, well, if you won't blame me. But I think the issue for me is like, I wouldn't want to, I'm trying to stay on the straight and narrow for the time being. So I guess it's just a matter of like setting up some sort of alt account and doing something that way. But I don't think I need to, I'll let the devil tempt me first. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, you can see that stuff looks good when you just double up the layers. Avail, I know you know this stuff. You layer blend mode junkie like me. There we go. All of a sudden it's dramatic. Okay, we're going to put a little winky Zelda right here in the middle. Actually, I might put... Oh, yeah. See, this is the art of being an artist. Oop. The real Zelda in the middle, and all the evil Zeldas on the periphery. Maybe I'll mess around with it and go back. Right now, we just need the space. Okay, put some music back on. And while I appreciate the wink, oh, you guys can't see the wink. Hold on. The cartoon, this is a great drawing of Zelda winking. And like being out of character, because it's like her normal character wouldn't have this expression, you know. It's sort of, it was good acting in the I don't know, in a way, like I appreciate the subtle nuances of what was working and what it's like the normal Zelda is like too serious to even smile in this way, but here they allowed it, you know. I like to think that the animators probably tried to have a good time on this one. Okay. Home stretch, home stretch. Head clearly tilted down. Winks are like really hard to draw. So we'll see. We'll see if I can even do a good job. Wonder if I can have her wink at camera instead of at Link. We'll see. Tried doing your style for fun and it was a fail. Oh my gosh. Well, if you feel like sharing, you can share, but what do you mean my style? Or doing the invention, or what, or drawing? Yeah, I know that I posted in the Discord the reference image that we were using. So if that's what you were doing, then listen, it's all about trying. We love to know efforts. There was a very in my mind it sticks out. There was a stream I did. It was pretty early on, and it was like those early streams were so they're sort of like very liberal. It's like literally nobody was watching my stream, and it was very Discord. It was very sort of like, just do whatever, just sort of be a goofball in front of camera, and no one notices. And then, oh, this is good. Oh, I love this. Okay, here. All right. Can I show the chat? But in the early days, I would get away with, doing anything I wanted. So it was sort of like, I was like, I remember being sick, but feeling I wanted to do it. I could do a stream so I could make progress on the art. Because part of what I'm trying to do is like I'm trying to be transparent and like show how I do stuff, right? So, and then like part of that is like for good or bad. And then, I was like, one day I was sick. I was legit sick. But, when I get sick and I need to work, it's like, I'm like, fuck it, I'll take a bunch of cough medicine and, just draw while I'm high on cough meds or whatever. And sometimes that's fun. Anyway, I tried a different cough. Basically, I took too much antihistamine, which wasn't that's something different. And I didn't mean like I take too much or whatever, but like, you know, you were supposed to take one pill and I took two, you know, and sort of like, this will be fun. And it was not fun. Hilarity did not ensue. And I was essentially, well, I mean, I was looking at my screen here and it was like a strobe light in my eyes. And I was like, I can't do this. Like, so halfway through the stream, I had to quit out and be like, sorry, you know, and that was made a terrible drawing or whatever. But then the next day I was like, I'm going to fucking crush that drawing, you know, and I did. It was good. That turned into the Death Mountain piece where we had the, you know, the Tektites or whatever. It's like an epic piece. It's like one of my favorite things now. All right, here's Danny's very, very worthy attempt to sort of emulate. I think this is excellent. So we give it up. We give the due applause. This is totally good, and I really like the the emotion is there. You paid attention to being like, okay, I'm gonna be conscientious about the head tilt this way, you know, really like making sure you didn't straddle, you know, all these things. You're making decisions. I like how you made the arm clearly go back here and then it clearly comes forward. So this is good. This is good stuff. You certainly did better than the original. Like here, right? This has a little more like sassy teenager vibe, whereas this person's trying but failing at being evil. This is not a fail. This is a... I want to challenge you to do something. Because right now, don't do this now. Do this like tomorrow or whenever. But like what you have here is a sort of like you have an opportunity right now. You have this sort of like there's this window in which I believe if you try to do this same sketch again, you will be more impressed with your results. It doesn't have to be today. Maybe tomorrow is best. But within the next 3 days, give it another shot. But I want to challenge you with this. Try not to reference it too much. Use solve with your mind, because I can see you were using a lot of actual problem solving. Like I can see it. There's not a lot of you did not constrain yourself to making a copy, which is what then that's the kind of the assignment, right? And do that again. Yeah, but with more, but knowing that knowing where you ran into trouble between now and then, think about what you might do differently. But honestly, I don't see a lot of trouble here. I just, if anything, you should have committed a little harder. That's it. You know? But I don't mean commit as in like make a very fine line that looks like a finished art. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, make it, just be a little more confident or whatever, you know, have, be okay with, it's weird. It's sort of like being okay with failing is like a superpower, you know? Do it before, try it again now, if you want to. That's not what I said, damn it. But Try it again now. But I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have a little energy in your brain about this, right? You're like, I did it. I didn't like the way it looked. It's like, that doesn't have to be the final word, you know? Come back to it later. There was some of this stuff where I was like, I didn't want to draw that. But then I realized, I'm like, you know, what am I going to do? Like, have a shitty have a good half of a drawing and then a shitty other half? It's like, no, just take the time to make it right. We appreciate the ambition. I think it's decent first try for sure. You're just so used to cartoons. Yeah. Well, that's, I mean, but like, do it cartoon style. I mean, or do it in your own style or whatever. It doesn't have to be my style. I mean, I guess I see what you're talking about, where you're like my style, where it's like sort of grayscale, almost like a painting or whatever. It is a fun challenge. You can learn so much just by picking up a different tool, you know, and it's all about getting out of your comfort zone and then realizing like that's where all the magic is. Look at this. These ears in their right spot. Okay. I'm going to go another 10 minutes. 10 minutes tops. 10 minutes tops. So, Danny, if you don't finish it in 10 minutes, just keep going and show me later. Okay? So Max, semi off topic question: which Zelda was your favorite? I definitely love, probably in this order of favoriteness is A Link to the Past is so good as far as like being so formative for me. Now, granted, I've been playing Zelda since the very first Zelda. Definitely played a lot of the very first Zelda, but not like in a way where I like understood it. I couldn't really get past like the second. Well, I beat like the second or third dungeon or whatever. But after that, I was like, this game is freaking me out. I gotta go like collect some rupees or something, do something else, you know. So the first Zelda was, then part of that is like, okay, it's like, I think that explains a lot of what I'm doing too, is like I have so much like unfinished business with Zelda. Now A Link to the Past I beat, and that's not necessarily like a super hard Zelda to beat, but some find it challenging, and I definitely did at the time. But I love A Link to the Past because of the amazing music and like the completeness of the aesthetic. It's just so amazing. Great bad guys. The Link's Awakening, probably second favorite. So again, I love that top-down aesthetic, and I love the music as well. I don't know if this is an amazing version of the Wink, but let's keep going with it. Definitely needs something a little harsh here. Something is harsh. And then Ocarina of Time. And then probably like Twilight Princess. I haven't played Oh, which Zelda was your favorite? Oh, that's funny. Well, it's all about the cartoon Zelda. Isn't it obvious? No, yeah, I don't know if I've quite captured this where I need to. Oh, and I can't go back far enough to undo it. Okay, it's all good. What I'm worried about is what I'm capturing here is more like a drunk Zelda. Which is fair enough, but it's subtle sometimes what makes a drawing right or wrong. Anyway, we'll mess around with it a little bit more. Very few of the Zeldas. It's like I don't typically like. This is the Zelda that I don't mind having like a crush on, you know, or like shipping the two characters or and such. I didn't play Breath of the Wild, not for any specific reason other than you know, I was a dad when it came out, and it's impossible for me to find a way to be productive in my spare time with video games. Unfortunately, I love video games, but hard to hard for me to justify to myself the time spent having fun when I could be drawing and attempting to do things with my career and my work. This will be as close as I get to doing some fun things in my time off. Alright, this is looking pretty good now. I am currently going through MH Rise with some friends. What games are you playing these days? What is MH Rise? What is that? Not sure. Monster Hunter Rise. Oh, okay. I don't, what games would be interesting to me? I feel like I should be, I might one day try to fire up and play Apex Legends just to see what all the hubbub is about, since that kept me employed for so long. But honestly, I'd be excited to actually play some Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild next time I get any substantial amount of time off. We're no good at Battle Royale games. Yeah, well, everybody I see online who talks about it is like complaining about how the game is broken and the devs need to fix it. And like, I don't like hearing that, but there might be some truth to it. Let's make something that feels like a little highlight. I have no idea. I do know there are chronic whiners though, but sometimes game updates can break things. Yeah, no, I don't blame anybody for like, I can't update my operating system on my Mac without the whole thing falling apart. So I avoid it like the plague. My wife updated her iPhone operating system, and she says the new iPhone, the Photos app, like, is broken, or it screwed everything up or sucks now, and it's like it sucks that that has to be the way things are with things. It's not too bad. We've been getting the squad-based horror games. Is that what Monster Hunter Rise is? And yeah, Danny, post what you got in 3 minutes. If you want to. We'll take a look. Monster Hunter is more like boss fights in fashion, in my opinion. Squad horror games are like Lethal Company, Nuclear Winter, and other low-grade games. There's something special about the design graphics, great graphics that make horror games pop, I think. Interesting. I am out of the loop with whatever is happening in games and... Let me put it this way. I don't have a Steam account. Maybe that give it some context. I'm not sure if it will or won't, but that does provide some form of reference, like I saw my friend play like Subnautica the other day at his house. We were just hanging out. Popped it on. He was like, check out this game. And I know that's not even a new game. But that was cool. finally got a good PC recently and sort of became exclusively PC gaming, old potato PC, and just play older games on it. I can't believe what technology is capable of. VR scares. Yeah, for me, if I was gonna do any real gaming at all, it would be like old school retro gaming. I'm very interested in one day, if I can, I want to see if I can get my brother on the stream and we can play old Secret of Mana. Such a great game, and it's 2-player or multiplayer. Which is pretty rare for a Nintendo game. It would be cool. Alternatively, like, I know my daughter is like really into the idea of video games and playing video games and stuff, and it's been something we've been sort of avoiding, for no real good reason, but one day we'll give in. And I'm overworking this piece. Yeah, something nice to bond over. Well, I'd like her to, how cool would it be to play the Echoes of Wisdom, play a Zelda game with my kid. Father had me play with him on his old Atari. He did not let you in. I remember my dad trying to figure out how to play the Zelda game. And yeah, he did not last more than a couple minutes before he was like, "Here, you play." I gotta get to work. It's sort of funny. I don't know if I'm going to get far with this eye without making it look like she has a black eye. What I'm trying not to do is just like lasso the whole thing and nudge it over. I'm worried it might need something like that, but subtle highlight. Not so subtle. Danny, you got your piece ready yet? Alright. Let's check it out. Feeling pretty good about this. Tried to do good again, but a little bit better. Let's see here. Still messing around with this a little too much. Okay, let's see here. She has a black eye. Oh, I'm gonna kill you. You know what? You're banned. No, you're not wrong. I might sleep on this before I post it, or at least flop the image. We'll see. It's good practice anyway for me to demonstrate that stuff. Where did Discord go? Challenge. Let's see here. You did pretty good. All right, bringing it in. It's fun. It's funny. Don't take this the wrong way. Something about the sketchiness in this is actually working, but I like that you feels like you doubled down in a lot of ways on what was correct. I appreciate it. Do these challenges more often. It wouldn't be something I would be like, you have to draw along with me or whatever. Here's one thing that I would say is here we have like this eye a little bit bigger than this eye, and that would be accurate given that this eye probably would be closer to camera. And here it feels like it's almost the opposite, and that isn't something that I'm pointing out to like be a butthead about. But like if you had to pick which one was going to be bigger, this eye needs to be bigger than this eye, and this ear needs to be bigger than this ear, and it almost sort of feels like they're all right. And it almost sort of feels like there's like it's the opposite. Where over here, like it's sort of clear, like this ear is much bigger than this ear. This eye is much bigger than this one, and that feels right. So, all right, so that's good. And then here, yes, Zelda has a terrible black eye. It's not a black eye. That's interesting. But you know what wasn't perfect either? Those little Midna sketches I did. You know, there's nothing perfect about those things. It's like, why be precious about this stuff, you know? And that's the thing. It's like, the people who will love it because it's got Zelda. And if they don't love it, you know, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, this will be either a nightmare or vindicate me. Yeah, no worries about that. Let me flop this. We'll see what happens. Wish me luck. Okay, that's not that bad. These ones at the bottom are working the best. Let's see what I can do. Patch up some of this stuff. Painting, drawing is satisfying. Good. just start over with this thing? Jesus Christ. The fuck just happened? The whole system's gonna crash. That's funny. God fucking damn it. The whole thing's fucked. I'm not joking, like it lost the whole file. Jesus fucking Christ. Well, that was nice. Yeah. No fun. Well. We got this far. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. Yeah. I'll just stretch these out and make a post of this. These look good. This one Zelda, I feel like I can tweak this one. It doesn't really need it, but sort of a lesson for me to not get impatient with. It does look good. It's so what happened there is something I can't quite explain, but if I hit the undo button too many times, it fucks it up. It's unfortunate, but it's happened enough times before where I knew what was happening when it started happening, and I was like, oh my god. But I have no. Once it starts doing that, there's no way for it to recover. So yeah, it actually only happens on the stream though, which is interesting. I've yet to see it happen with my work. I mean, don't get me wrong, it totally crashes when I'm doing my work, but not in the way that it did there. That seems to be specific more for the streams for whatever reason. Just struggles with it. That's okay. I can exhibit a little bit of good attitude by not losing my shit over something frustrating, right? Okay, this looks pretty good. It would be kind of cool. I'm here to cheer you up with moments like this. Yeah. Well, thanks a lot. No, I think it's just important not to go to pieces if there's a technical issue. you know, shit like that happens. It happens in real life, in the professional environment, and what you don't want to do is what you want to do is save your work more regularly, so it doesn't matter. You just go back to real peace. If I had done that, then there wouldn't be an issue. But in this case, it gives me a good excuse to forget about winking Zelda. And I'll come back and I'll do another page of studies of these, and I'll figure out a way to slay the beast of the winking Zelda. Okay, I'm going to, yeah, that looks good. I'm just going to resize these a little bit to fill the page. There we go. Now, yeah, and I'm just going to do a little quick vignetting. This is the stuff this is the money. Make it look like a Hollywood movie poster. Not too much. final results? Oh, you mean like rendered versions or something? Oh, they're welcome to throw money at me. Here we go. We've had a nice long stream. It's all good. We're almost done though. Now I'm hitting it with some dodge and burn in areas where I want just a little bit more oomph. No idea what this music is, but alright, not a bad one to end on. These are cute and fun and good practice. Good practice. Now I feel like I've got some good Zelda energy in my brain. Right? Is it Mario music? Okay. Well, we'll allow it. Just a little drama. All right, what do we think? Call it a day. Okay, I'm gonna export something, post it to the socials, and get to bed. All right, hooray for Mario music, right? Okay, so let's look at this. We'll do a thumbnail real quick. All right, if anybody's still listening, Danny, I mean, you've been a great encourager, and everybody else. Namina, if anybody else is still awake, Avail. And Sextra, I'm sure you're asleep, curled up, listening to the sound of my voice. And saying, it's time for bed. Let's go to 50/50, do a quick thumbnail. Yeah, nothing wrong with some goofy sketch studies. They're cute. They'll get some likes. All right. What? How about... like this. That's a good one. All right. All right, that'll be it for me. Jokes aside, I appreciate everybody's encouragement and support. And Man, I need a haircut. I'll catch you guys next time. Adios.